Hi, my name is Kevin Curry. I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I'm here to tell you the story about mapping Clean the Bay Day, which is really a story that I'm going to use. I'm going to tell using this map right here, because in this case, really, the medium is the message. From a global perspective, this is where we are. Clean the Bay Day is a 22-year running annual environmental cleanup. It started by the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. And every year on the first Saturday in June, we get out in the neighboring states and we get out in our environment and we clean it up. So here we are in Virginia Beach, is where I live and grew up, and it's a really interesting place. A lot of rich history here. This is where the settlers from England made their first landing. Our blue crabs are just legendary. It's just a really wonderful place to grow up and live, and the water really defines us. And so here, as I get closer down into the environment, you can see here that the first main artery off the bay here is the Lynnhaven River. And it really looks more like a lung, and man, these slides are moving fast. It really looks more like a lung, and it's as if the bay breathes in and out of the river. And everything that floats on the river ends up in the bay, and everything that floats on the bay ends up in a river. So, here's another look at the area where I live, and I bring this up because it's the importance of layers is so important here. We found out when we were doing this environmental cleanup that the people in the neighborhood really understood the neighborhood by the street map. They really just wanted to know, where do I need to go, and I'll go there. So, if you look at the little green flag, it says, meet here the first Saturday in June at 8:30. And this is here, in case I get hit by a truck. People will be able to come to this map next year, and they'll be able to see the green flag, and they'll be able to follow the link, and they'll just be able to, go on their merry way. We meet at an elementary school, and that elementary school, as you can see on the map, is bordered by some baseball fields to the east and a church to the northwest. And this really serves to highlight the fact that it's really a community-based effort. The local fire department came out, Engine 20. They brought the engine. They wowed the kids. I got to use the public address system and feel all cool and address the 75 or so people who had gathered. Here's a region that I marked off that was on the map that actually belonged to a neighboring zone. We break these up into zones. I live in the Kings Grant zone. This is the Thalia zone. And I didn't really know that this was covered by another group, but I was able to use the notes and the tools and the drawing tools of the map to highlight it. So it really brings me to the point of this presentation, which is, what am I doing with this thing? This is more than just a presentation about environmental cleanup. This is a living, persistent geospatial wiki. This is my operational plan for Clean the Bay Day. This is how I organized and coordinated a group of 75 people. And so we see, looking here on this cluster of apartments, there's a lot of areas that border the Lynnhaven River. And I'm using notes and calling out that this is Route 11, and it's on the Lynnhaven River, and it's a land-based cleanup, which means there won't be anybody in boats, and I need 3 to 5 volunteers to clean up this area. And I'm really not sure how long it's going to take to clean up the area, but I went out and scouted. I figured it's going to take 3 to 5 people. I use flags and pinpoints to mark trouble spots. And, I don't even really want to get into the stuff that we pulled out of the woods here. Pallets, furniture, televisions, a pile of diapers a mile high. This is awful. All right, so, as we move around through the environment, we can see that I'm using notes to just call out things that are important in the environment. So, for example, here's a church. We got permission to be on the church, so I put it in the notes. And I'm using the tools and the shapes and the drawing and the notes to basically communicate with the people who are going to be working on this effort, for me to plan out my activities, for me to work with the other leaders and show them how we're going to execute this plan. So, it brings me to the results here. You can see here I'm able to use the pictures. There's a link to a Flickr album. You can see that we collected, there's a couple of washer and dryers in there, a kiddie pool, a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm going to use the last few seconds of this to talk about how I think that this thing could really just sort of change the way we do global action. You may be familiar, a group of 40,000 people came out in Estonia and cleaned the whole country in one day. And if you were looking to do this somewhere else, say in San Francisco, they wanted to emulate that same type of thing. You could use tools like this to make it really simple to organize your activities and to communicate with your participants. So in my last couple seconds, I want to say thanks to Bernie and Pat and Jack and all these folks at Esri who have provided this tool. I'm not a mapper. This is my first UC. I'm just a community organizer who's going out and cleaning up the environment. Thanks.